Chatfield rolls to his right under some pressure. He throws, he's got a man open and is caught by Garn. And Jarett Garn is in for the touchdown for the Vikings.
This is Westmoreland on the Gridiron. Dan Flickinger back with you, and it is time to talk with our Week 8 Westmoreland Sports Network Player of the Week, and he is none other than senior from the Mount Pleasant Vikings, Jarett Garn. He is a Swiss Army knife for the Vikings, I like to call him. Wide receiver, you'll see him at running back, you'll see him at defensive back, you'll see him at kicker. He does it all for Coach Jason Fazikis. And Jarett, first of all, thanks for joining me. Congratulations. And I also like to call you Mr. Sports Center, which we'll get into a little bit later. But first of all, again, thanks for joining us, and congrats on being named Player of the Week.
Thank you. It's definitely an honor.
Well, let's get right into it because we have so many things really to talk about with you. Again, you rushed for a touchdown last week against Derry in a victory. Also caught a touchdown pass. You kicked a field goal, and you went 4 for 4 on extra points. So a tremendous job by you. Do you believe the win over Derry was kind of your most complete victory of the season and a much-needed one here with a playoff spot on the line?
I mean, I would definitely say it was a very good game. Going into it, we believed it was going to be a really close game. And so whenever we went out there and we exceeded how we did, I was definitely excited to see the team go like that. I mean, going into it, we opened up our playbook a lot. Normally, we have a lot of running. And so seeing that we opened up and passed a lot more, I think that did help us excel the way we did. And so being that we were able to clinch the playoff spot and solidify that was definitely exciting.
Yeah, the thought process coming into the game against Derry, I'm sure, was like, I mean, you're obviously going into every game wanting to win it, but with that playoff spot on the line, is that something you guys discussed at all, something you focused on, like, hey, we got to get this win tonight if we want to, reach one of our goals?
I mean, yeah, it was definitely something that the coaches were, I wouldn't say pounding into us, but they were definitely bringing it up. I mean, that is definitely a motivation, being able to extend the season like that and making it set in stone as well. So they did bring it up, and that was definitely something that I was thinking about throughout the game. And seeing us win like that was definitely exciting.
Well, you guys got off to a tremendous start. You had 2 touchdowns yourself early in the game, and really that helped you guys win the game, getting it off to that hot start. What was the key to beginning the game so well for you?
Well, I mean, practicing like throughout the week, we had put in plays where normally we would do runs off of, and so almost faking the pass throughout our run scheme, we were able to open up the field a lot more, and that allowed us get like more of a versatile start and get me open out there like that for the first passing touchdown.
Well, the offense scored 31. That was good, but the defense only allowed 14 points, and really, I believe one of those touchdowns in the first quarter, then late in the game, you allowed one, so it was kind of inconsequential at that point. What was the key for you guys on defense against Derry to play so well?
I mean, throughout the week, we have been like watching their film and adjusting our defense to that. And I mean, our defense as well also had 7 of our 31 points off of a blocked punt. So, I mean, it was definitely exciting to see that. But we were ready for the run scheme for the most part. We felt confident in our passing. And so we prioritized like where our linebackers would be and our linemen. And I mean, they definitely did a great job stopping the running. So,
yeah, and
I think that was definitely significant.
Yeah, and Cole Chatfield hit you on a beautiful pass. Unfortunately, I know he's a little bit banged up right now. Hopefully, Cole can come back. But I have to ask you about your career-long 45-yard field goal right before the end of the first half. What was kind of going through your mind when you went out there, being more of a long-distance kick? I mean, did it make you a little more excited to try it?
I mean, it's definitely exciting every time I hear field goal, being that, I mean, it's obviously not something we do often. And so getting the ability to put that on record and it being my farthest as well was definitely exciting. But I mean, I've been practicing and I felt confident, but there's always that aspect of a little bit of nervousness, like trying something like that, especially in game, because in practice to in game live is definitely completely different than any practice setting we're going to get. So whenever I saw it go through, I was definitely calm, but also very excited to be able to have that.
So 45 yards is your career long in practice. Just screwing around a little bit. What was the longest you've ever hit?
The longest I've ever hit was actually at Cole's kicking camp probably 2 weeks ago now, and I believe it was 59 yards into like crosswind. So,
oh wow!
I mean, it was definitely nice to do that, and I wasn't expecting that because the farthest we'd go back at practice, like throughout the high school, would be 50 yards. And so, I mean, hitting 9 yards farther might not seem like a lot, but it's definitely pretty good. And
Yeah. And
so
you
I
re-
caught
and,
myself on guard with that.
and you realize, I mean, that's great for like an NFL kicker, 59 yards. That's ridiculous. That's great. I'm sure that helped you did that help give you confidence then when you went out for the 45-yarder? I know it's different in game and in practice and in camps and things like that, but that probably had to give you a little extra advantage.
I mean, yeah, it definitely did. But I mean, being that some of our kicks in the past have got blocked, there's always that thought process that could happen as well. But I mean, trust in the line, and I mean, it went in. So definitely exciting.
Talking with our Week 8 Westmoreland Sports Network Player of the Week, Jarett Garn from the Mount Pleasant Vikings. His Vikings with a win over the Derry Trojans on Friday. What is it like being so versatile? It has to be fun, right? I mean, you get to play, as I mentioned earlier, a little running back, a little receiver, defensive back, and then you're kicking. Does that make it a little more fun for you?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely exciting to get out there. And I mean, obviously, like I know the position I'm playing, but I never know what the play is going to bring. I mean, one play I might be blocking on offense, and the next play I'm going for a run, or I might be out in the slot running like a different route. And so, being that I'm a potential target in any of those positions is definitely exciting. And even throughout practice, just getting to practice those different positions throughout the week is also fun.
And of course, you all also are on the soccer team. Unfortunate tough loss earlier this week in the playoffs to Shady Side Academy. But what will you kind of take away from your time playing soccer? And how challenging has it been, Jarett, to juggle two fall sports? I mean, that can't be easy.
I mean, it definitely isn't easy. And to be honest, I mainly focus on football, being that I put so much time into soccer in the past. I feel confident in my abilities in that, but it definitely puts wear on the body. So I try to, I mean, I don't really go to soccer practice, so that also helps like keep like energy up and stamina. And so, I mean, going throughout the year, our trainer definitely helps. I mean, being able to go on and get stim and all that and keep my body rejuvenated for the games. But overall, I mean, the season and playing soccer has taught me, I mean, definitely a lot about team sports. And being that I played that for nearly 10 years before I even started football, it definitely built a good team aspect and, like good sportsmanship that you need. And so being on that team was definitely exciting. And they were all amazing players. And I'm really excited to see what they do with the years coming.
And you're also a member of the track team. You finished second in the Whippeal and in the 200 meter. And I'm sure you're focused on maybe getting a gold medal coming up a little bit later on this year. But what do you like most about running track?
I mean, I'm definitely seeking that first place this year. But I was excited to see the kid last year as well, being that he was a senior and he was able to get the gold as well. But coming up this year, I definitely want to focus and prioritize my time on the 1 and 200, but also hopefully a 4x1 team as well, because I think that's the most exciting event I participated in, but sadly did not this past season due to just the personnel on our team. So I would like to get back into that as well.
All right, so maybe I haven't gotten to the most exciting part of the interview yet, and that is when you got on Sports Center a few weeks ago with your amazing catch against York. And I just have to tell my side of the story. That night, I wasn't at the Mount Pleasant York game. I was at a different game producing, but one of our guys sent me a text message and said, "You got to see this catch that Garn made. It was unbelievable." And I was like, okay, send it to me if you get a chance. And, he sent me a screen capture of it. And I'm like, we got to see if we can get this on You Got Mossed. And when we tweeted it out, I thought, no, I'll just hashtag SC Top 10. And I know I was messaging you. We were messaging you as well to let you know we were doing this. And we're like, oh, what the heck? We'll put SC Top 10 on it. And then I got a message the next morning. Hey, I just saw Mount Pleasant was on Sports Center, and then you were on You Got Mossed as well, that segment. So kind of take me through your side of the story, like, when you first heard that you got on and then the Moss segment. And I'm sure you got a bunch of text messages and just take me through all of that, because that's something that, I'm sure you'll remember forever.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely exciting, but going back to the beginning, as you said, in the moment, I didn't even realize like the play and like how significant it would have been, being that like it's like, in the game, like I like caught the ball, like a touchdown, it was a close game. So my thoughts were like, like next play, like I got the kick, I did this. And so, I mean, some of my teammates were like, oh, that's like a crazy catch. And I didn't realize like how, like significant was until like honestly you texted me and said like, oh, we're gonna try and get it on there. Like I didn't even see a chance of that even happening. And it wouldn't have been until the next day I was at practice that I even realized I made it on there when one of our coaches or players actually came to me and like, oh, did you see that you made like second place on Sports Center's top 10?
Come on. He's not talking about us. Mount Pleasant's Cole Chatfield. This is high school football, throwing it deep downfield to Jarett Garn. Quadruple coverage? And he wasn't done. Okay, actually triple coverage. Had some defenders just watching. One guy was on the ground. They had a front row seat. You saw that on Westmoreland Sports Network.
And so, I mean, it was definitely exciting. And then going on to, like you said, the Randy Moss segment.
Let's go high school race, Pennsylvania football right here. Mount Pleasant versus York. York, you're going to look at this one. York, you got 3 defenders over there. How the heck you not make a play? But Jarett Garn makes a play. Garn makes an unbelievable catch. Are you kidding me?
Over 3 guys.
Look at that. Look at one more look at it.
Rolls to his left.
Out there. 3 guys. Defense corner is like, man, what a great call. You got Moss.
I never expected it to go nearly that far. And it's definitely really cool to have like Randy Moss talking about it like that. So I definitely will remember this moment.
And did you hear from, I mean, were people like texting you, maybe, you know, your family saying, oh my God, this is awesome. We saw it on.
I mean, yeah, I definitely got a lot of texts and it was really cool. We even had like some of my, like our past teammates. He might have actually been the one who texted me to begin with saying that he was sitting there like eating breakfast or something that morning whenever he saw it. But yeah, it was definitely something exciting to celebrate with everybody.
That is so cool. And that's something, again, that not many, I mean, how many people can actually say they were on SportsCenter top 10 and you got mossed, you know, not just one, but both. That's really cool. And we're so happy for you, Jarett. Before we talk, I want to ask you about Elizabeth Forward and what you guys have to do to come away with a win on Friday. But one other thing I have to ask you about, I was reading an article that you took some flying lessons. I believe it was in the summertime. Is that kind of still happening? What was that like?
I mean, yeah, I did. I took 1 or 2 flight lessons and it was definitely exciting. And it was something that I wanted to pursue. And I definitely believe I still will pursue it, even if it's just a private license, because I really do enjoy it. And just being up that high and being able to see everything is definitely exciting. But I mean, yeah, for a career, I don't know if I'll possibly pursue it mainly for like my career, just because of the way you have to work and the long time out. And so being that I would like to have like a family and oriented towards that, I'm not sure I see that for my full-time career.
Yeah, full-time career would be tough, but it's nice to have, you know, on the side maybe for fun. And so that's pretty neat. Not many people, I don't think, have their pilot license either. So that's really neat. So let's talk about Elizabeth Forward. Obviously, they're top dog right now in the conference. They knocked off Southmoreland last week. What kind of do you see from them, and what do you guys have to do to have a victory here on Friday night?
I mean, it's definitely going to take a lot of practice and like focus mainly like towards their offense, as it is really strong, but we've played them really well on our field over the past few years. And so I'm really hoping that we can do that again. Last year, I don't believe showed like the true aspect of how the game was, being that within like the last 30 seconds, they were able to put up another touchdown or 2. And so being that we have played them so well in the past, I think we have a good chance. I mean, we just have to stop some of their star players like, you know, Charlie Niggett. And I mean, they are really good players and I won't take that away from them. And so I believe we do have a chance for them. And I mean, we'll just go into it head high and, you know, trust in the Lord that we can do it. So
love to hear it. Love to hear it. Jarett, excellent job with the interview. Congratulations again. And good luck on Friday night against Elizabeth Forward and the rest of the season.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. That was Jarett Garn, our Week 8 Westmoreland Sports Network Player of the Week. We'll talk a little bit more about that Mount Pleasant EF game and a lot more in our Week 9 preview coming up next right here on Westmoreland on the Gridiron.